everybody, and welcome to a World of Warcraft how-to video. So, are you looking to setting up new characters, or are you looking for information on how to do this? Well, this is the video for you, definitely. Now, when I start my new character, I always like to get, everything done. So, when I hit the max level, I'm not gonna be looking at forums for anything weird, maybe just for the level 100 talents and whatnot. It's just such a smooth feeling playing with a perfect interface and everything while leveling. So that is why I take my time to get all the basic things done. So let's just jump into it. The first thing I suggest is that you save up 10,000 gold. 10,000 gold covers stuff like enchanting heirlooms. It covers 4 22 slot bags. 22 slot bags like silks. Those are really just always on the auction house for cheap. It covers costs like drums of fury. I suggest highly that you get these, especially for leveling. You're gonna love having these drums here if you're not a mage class or shaman, whatever. I also suggest that you get stuff like the Fingal's Lootering, a handy little item that can come useful. And what else consumables that you might like, even for endgame. Like if you're gonna be using this for endgame, you might as well get potions as well and whatnot. But yeah, that was pretty much just the first little thing that you should probably do. So also another thing that I highly suggest is that you save up 5,000 gold and get the epic flying for 280% flying. 150% flying is okay, but it's just too slow. 310 is not worth it, but definitely aim for, just that 10,000 gold per character. And honestly, 10,000 gold, who cares? You can make 10,000 gold like doing nothing. I played 30 minutes yesterday and I made 50k. So yeah, but that is a whole nother video and a whole nother topic. But yeah, that was just
So
the
I am
first
completely
addicted to this one site that is called Icy Veins. Basically, if you Google, let's just Google something, Warlocks and 6.2, Icy Veins is pretty much always gonna be one of the first results. Why? Well, that is because the site is just that damn good. Honestly, you're gonna love this site here if you haven't used it before. I like to use this site as a checklist. So the first thing we're gonna be talking about now is the build talents and glyphs. Let's go over the glyphs first. So right now the glyphs can go from anywhere to like 10 gold up to like 500 gold depending on the server. I bought all these glyphs here for 1.5k gold. That is just another investment that you should have. Honestly, again, do the 10,000 gold. It's just worth it. Get it done. Buy it fast. Don't waste time on it. Like the time that you spend, oh, should I buy this? Should I not buy that? That is just wasted time. So yeah, just buy the glyphs because they're not expensive. Now for the talents. So as you can see here, they make short guides. So don't read all this crap here. Just read this stuff down here where they summarize. So they summarize the talents really fast, so you know what to pick. Even for leveling, you can kinda guess what's best. Obviously, you maybe want more survival as leveling, so perhaps some talent choices are not that relevant for raiding, which is good for leveling and so forth. But choosing glyphs, talents and all that stuff is just so fast for this site here because they really summarize it very well and they don't write too long text and whatnot, so it's just really fast. And that's pretty much it for the glyphs, builds and talents. So let's go over the rotation, the cooldowns and the abilities. So obviously here you learn about all your abilities, like everything that you can use. And this is where we get into the add-on part. I highly suggest that you get the two add-ons that are called Need to Know. So as you can see here, my Need to Know tracks Burning Rush, which is a talent. It tracks Healthstone, which is a talent. It tracks Soulstone. Well, Soulstone is just, this thing here. Unending Breath, which is a glyph. And then it tracks some other things, but yeah, the profile is a bit stupid. But basically, Need to Know can make you set up talents and things that you need to track super fast. Like this add-on It's probably one of the most used add-ons I have ever had. Like I use this on every one of my character. Not one character I want to play with this add-on. The next add-on is obviously weak auras. Everyone knows about weak auras, but it's just so good. You Google, like you go to fan pages like MMOC Champion, and then you just read their guides, and then you kind of get referred to a thread or whatever, and then they usually have strings. So I find all these strings really fast and just import them, and then I tweak them to my own liking. So obviously, not every weak aura strings that you're gonna find is gonna be a good one. Um, Good example of this would be my own little, so I can just quickly showcase my own little. So as you can see here, Haunt Unstable Affliction. This, before I changed it around, was way too big and annoying. But if you know just a little bit about add-ons, you can easily go around changing things. So like you go into the string itself, and then perhaps you want to change the font size, or something really important like the height. So stuff like this, it takes quite a while. Modifying already imported strings takes a while, and I don't recommend it if you don't want to invest the time into your interface and try to play optimal. But again, I am all about interfaces. I honestly am addicted to add-ins in World of Warcraft. I know I have a problem. Like, damn, I have a mate in WoW, and he has 25,000 achievement points, and he's like really insane, and he plays World of Warcraft with 10 add-ons, but that's just not for me. But yeah, that's a whole other topic. But again, need to know and weak auras, and then just Google strings and everything. So let's see again. So that was it for how to kind of set up the rotation, the cooldowns, and abilities. Buffs, debuffs, and useful abilities. Very handy read here. They basically go over how all the different buffs that you have works. So for instance, I was wondering, how did Soulstone even work as a combat res? Well, here you go. Now I know. It's just, it's very easy to know about the abilities that you have. Like for instance, you have maybe forgot to put an ability on your bars. So like one of the first things I tend to do uh, is put all the abilities on my auction bars, but then I maybe have forgotten one or don't know how they work, and this is just a really good way to get an easy read. But yeah, that was just it for the kind of second part here. For the next part, if you have multiple characters, there are one thing that is completely insane hard to remember, and that is stat priorities. What are stat priorities? That is basically what states in the game are the best to get. Pretty simple, but remembering what states are the best for 10 characters or whatever is really hard. That is why this single site here, stat priority, is the one that I visit the most on this site ever. I can visit this little site here maybe once a week or whatever randomly. But yeah, so basically you choose what stats that you want, and this is a very important part. So say for instance, affliction warlocks have equal stats on both haste and mastery. Haste is maybe slightly better than mastery, but it's pretty much the same. But here comes the thing: if you're gonna respec or play other builds than just affliction, go for mastery, cause mastery is also good for destruction and what's the other called, the demon spec. But basically, don't if you're gonna play more than one spec on a character, don't get gear that only works for one sort of spec. That is just a pro tip there. You really do not want to waste time on gear, so try to get gear that works for every spec that you're gonna be playing on the character. So gems and chants, this is basically just straight priority again. Again, they say you should gem haste, but go for mastery. And then they recommend, consumables and whatnot. Simple to read, fast, easy stuff. Macros and add-ons. This is a little more of a not needed part. This is not Rift or I don't know some other MMO game where you actually need macros. I can just quickly showcase now. So far, I've really only found three macros. One of them was very important, mouse over macros for Soulstone for fast compressing. I thought that was pretty great. And then the other two are just stop casting, which is not that important. Honestly, you don't need to play World of Warcraft with macros. There are some classes that benefit from it a lot, but it's only gonna be like few macros per spec or character. In other games, especially Rift, at least it once was. I haven't played it in a while. Macros were pretty much how you played the game. If you didn't use macros, it was just stupid. But yeah, they suggest macros, and then you can pretty much just copy and paste them. But I tend to just, Google macro warlocks, boom, and then you get all these search results here. Typically, the wiki pages are kinda outdated. I tend to just go with some other Google results to get fast macros. But again, macros are not that needed, so let's really just move on. I should also mention that they do talk about add-ons, but it's very generic. There's no real, oh, you should get this one add-on. It just suggests things, and it's very limited. Like, I would suggest way more add-ons than they do, but yeah, they don't want to confuse the reader. That's fine, that's cool. Okay, gearing up and best in slot. This is always a fun one. If you're gonna aim for, rating in game and whatnot, this is always a fun thing. For me personally, I haven't cared about gearing up in World of Warcraft for over 2 years now. Gear means nothing to me, and it's totally awesome to play like that. But they have a really comprehensive best in slot item list and ways to kind of narrow down what sort of gear you want. As you can see, they try to, have everything. So yeah, and the good thing about this is that it's obviously updated. So this was updated about a year ago, but that is still the most relevant gear. We're still in the same patch a year later. Yeah, what's up with that, Blizzard? A year without any content. But yeah, I also want to talk a little about setting up the UI again. I really want to highlight again some add-ons here. Weak auras and need to know are just awesome. I also really enjoy having bartender, but those are kinda, up to yourself. Um, why need to know? I could perhaps show just how fast you could set this up. So if you don't want to deal with weak auras, because maybe you find it a 2-bit, hard. So let's say I want to track agony. That is a dot. I'm just gonna type in. No, okay, so just gonna go real now. Okay, so you enable the bar. If it isn't enabled, then you just choose buff debuff to time, and you just type in the exact name. It has to be the complete full name. Then you're just gonna go into, is it a debuff or a buff? In this case, it's a debuff. Then you're gonna go into unit monitor, what the unit is that it's gonna be tracking. Obviously, it's gonna be target. And then there are some other options here, but only show if cast by self. This is the most important one. And then you can change some other things like the color. I suppose you can also change the font in the options and whatnot. But yeah, that was pretty much just how you set it up. So when that's done, you just need to type need to know again. And as soon as I hit agony, it's gonna be tracked. And that is why I like an add-on like agony, an add-on like need to know. It's way simple, and I use it on every character just because it's very fast to set up. Whereas I can spend sometimes 3 hours setting up weak auras. It just takes too long time sometimes. But yeah, I would love to know how you think you should set up characters. Do you have ways that you like to do it? Do you have fan sites that helps you out? Do you just have a checklist in your head? Maybe you don't even use any add-ons. Like I mentioned it before, I have a mate who is 25,000 plus achievement points. Insane dude. Plays a shaman with 10 add-ons in World of Warcraft. And I'm like, how can you play with that little add-ons? But honestly, he can play with that, and he's playing, epically. And I just feel like I can't play World of Warcraft without setting my interface, my add-ons, my macros, glyphs, and everything up before I start playing a character. If I'm gonna be playing something in this stupid old game, I need to have it, perfect. I need to go into the littlest detail. But yeah, I'm a big nerd on add-ons and interface and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, comment below if you have any other suggestions on how you would do this, or do you have other ways that I should maybe improve it or anything like that. So yeah, as always, have a good one.